Did you know that some victims of the seasonal flu face threatening complications that leave them hospitalized or even close to knocking on death's door? Well, you may think, I'm a healthy individual, I eat right, I exercise, so that can't happen to me, can it? Well, many individuals that have ended up in these situations probably thought the exact same thing, that, oh, it won't happen to me. Well, you may wonder, what exactly is the seasonal flu? The seasonal flu, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, is a contagious respiratory illness caused by influenza viruses that infect the nose, throat, and sometimes the lungs. This can either be a mild or severe illness depending on how it affects you and your immune system and how it fights back. Some common flu symptoms, like shown in this graph, are headache, weakness, fever, cough, muscle ache, and chest discomfort. While many of us may know if we've experienced a common cold, the flu is very similar, but it's almost as if it was on steroids. It's a lot more difficult to treat because of the viruses and how often they're changing each season, and it can be a little more threatening because it reaches all the way down into your lungs, and that can leave you with further complications. So you may ask, how do I prevent myself from falling victim to the seasonal influenza viruses? Well, I will now discuss the dangers of the seasonal influenza virus. It is more dangerous than people often think, and it's often dismissed because, oh, it's the seasonal flu, it's fine, like it's just a cold. But it's really not, it's so much more than that. There are potential health complications that often arise to pneumonia, myocarditis, which is inflammation of the heart, encephalitis, which is inflammation of the brain, and even organ failure, such as with your respiratory system and your kidneys, which can lead to sepsis and death. It often makes chronic illnesses like diabetes, asthma, and chronic heart disease worse. And because of these certain complications, among others, this can lead to hospitalizations. Although it's difficult to conduct surveys and collect the data used as to how many people are hospitalized each year, the CDC has estimated since 2010 that approximately 140,000 to 960,000 people are hospitalized each season due to the flu. And as for deaths, there has been a study over a 30-year period beginning in the 1976-1977 flu season up until 2006 and 2007, collecting data that there's a range from 3,000 to 49,000 deaths each season. And in cases of pediatrics, so for children, there was a study conducted beginning in the 2011-2012 flu season up until the 2017-2018 flu season, and there is a range of 37 to 185 deaths among children because of the flu. So I will now discuss preventative measures, the solution to protecting yourself against the flu. The vaccination is by far the best option and gives you the most protection against the seasonal influenza virus. So how do vaccinations work? They cause antibodies to be created within the recipient 2 weeks following the shot or the nasal spray, the jet injector. And some may say, oh, I've gotten the flu vaccine before and I ended up getting sick, that's why I'm not going to get it again. Well, there is that 2-week incubation period where once I receive the vaccine, if I come into contact with someone that has the flu within those 2 weeks, I can contract the virus and display symptoms of the flu because the viruses that were contained in the vaccine haven't had enough time to build the antibodies in my system. So, antibodies provide a shield against infection with the help of the viruses contained in the virus. And since it's a predicted strain, since it's constantly evolving and changing season to season, it's never going to be 100% accurate. Scientists do the best they can to predict what's coming next so that they can protect more and more people. So it's ideal to get your flu shot every single year so that you constantly build up those antibodies so that your body can fight back if it is encountered with the virus. The different kinds of vaccines available are the most common on top, which is the hypodermic needle, your regular needle injection, and on the bottom is a jet injector. So according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the jet injector is a medical device used for vaccination that uses a high pressure, narrow stream of fluid to penetrate the skin instead of a hypodermic needle. Neither delivery method is better than the other, according to the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. They both contain the same formula, just it's a different delivery method for what works best for you. Other common ways of avoiding the flu is avoiding sick people, covering your sneezes and coughs, and washing hands frequently and thoroughly. In conclusion, there are many reasons to consider getting vaccinated each flu season in order to protect yourself and your family. The pain of a shot is much preferred rather than facing hospitalization and even death, and the vaccination is the best way to get the most protection each season. So considering what I've told you today, the solution is simple. Protect yourself and others. Do the responsible thing and make the right choice. The pinch of a needle is worth the protection.